Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
And now, the conclusion.
It's time to actually review the movie. Review. And by review, I mean start with some theories that I got wrong. That's... hold it against the movie and take 10 points off for each one. Don't worry, there's only 3. So I think in my trailer review I said Vision was gonna mind crush the gauntlet in the same way that Adam Warlock used his connection to the Soul Gem to, like, do that and then take the gauntlet. But that didn't happen. Vision's just fucking dead. You don't see him again. You don't even see his body. They don't even mention what they did with him. The only time that he gets mentioned is when Scarlet Witch is, like, about to fuck up Thanos, and she says, "You took everything from me." And it's funny, because then he says, like, he's like, "I don't even know you." Because he hadn't met her. This was 2014 Thanos in 2024. Because, yeah. Or 23, something like that. It was 5 years after the snap. So he doesn't know her, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah, that's all the Vision mention you get that I remember. I went to pee halfway through the movie, even though I had no fluids. It's probably the 5-hour energy. But I did it as they were preparing to start their time jump. So I missed the epic trailer scene where everybody's walking. Oh yeah, and everyone that got snapped came back. When the Hulk snapped his fingers, he was allowed to completely undo the original snap. So now everybody's back, but it's 5 years later, so that must be really jarring for them. Anyway, my theory was that Spider-Man was going to be... Far From Home was going to take place in the Soul Stone, but no, everybody, like, was... Not a fucking voice crack! No, everybody was dead when the first snap was done, so nobody was inside the Soul Stone. So I thought Far From Home would take place in there, and no, it won't. Spider-Man's just alive again. So when you see him all sad looking at a picture or something of Tony Stark, that's because Tony Stark's dead. Way to spoil things with that Far From Home trailer before Endgame was out, you dum-dums. I'd also predicted, when I tweeted, not really in any video or anything, because that matters, I thought Captain Marvel would just get sidelined. But she didn't. She does kind of, like, disappear before the big battle, because she's like, I gotta go... English? She says, like, she has thousands of planets like Earth she has to go take care of that don't have Avengers, but she does show up for the final battle, and she wrecks Thanos' big ship thing he brought with him, and kind of helps destroy a bunch of his reinforcements. And even at one point is, like, taking him on while just as he has the Iron Man gauntlet with the stones in it. And she's, like, holding him from doing another snap, and then he headbutts her a couple times. Then eventually he, like, donkey punches her or some shit and knocks her away. I gotta, like, watch this movie again to do an actual review of it. Maybe I will. I don't really do reviews. I do this. Look at how bald I am. So now for some things I got right, which I think is, according to this list, one thing. And it wasn't anything I really predicted before watching the movie, it was while I was watching it. There's this one moment where Cap, like I mentioned in part 1, where Cap is standing alone against Thanos and his army. Like, I knew, like, at the beginning of the battle, everyone revived from the snap was coming back, because you only ever hear from them at first right after Hulk snaps his fingers, when Hawkeye's wife calls him, and then just as he's about to answer, that's when Thanos bombs them with his warship. So they go through a big battle against just Thanos, and it's like, okay, the rest of them are gonna show up after Thanos summons his Arby's. And that's when the whole Falcon going, Cap on your left thing happens. Which makes me wonder, did Doctor Strange say, hey, I'm gonna put this portal on Cap's left, call him and tell him, I'm gassy. Although, I mean, I also kind of knew Iron Man was gonna die, because the fucking Far From Home trailer, and everyone was coming back. Because Marvel likes to just lie. None of their trailers really lied, though. The trailers were actual footage, unlike Infinity War's Hulk footage. They just lied about consequences from Infinity War. I think when they were saying people that actually died are gonna stay dead, I think they meant, like, Vision. Because everyone else that got snapped away was back. Which brings me to some dislikes. The fucking gauntlet can only bring back people that were destroyed from the snap. Like, I guess I get that it can't bring back original Gamora or Black Widow because they died in order to get the Soul Stones over, and yes, that's plural because there's the original one that Thanos destroyed and then the one they brought from alternate branch of the past. So I guess I could see why the Soul Stone's like, no, not letting you use me to bring those souls you traded back. They gone. But like, anyone else should be fair game. I mean, the fucking gauntlet makes you omnipotent. In the comics, Thanos made a female Thanos, and she only stopped existing because he admittedly didn't care enough to focus on making her permanent. So when the gauntlet got taken away, he's like, oh, she's gone. I didn't really think about making her a permanent being. That's my bad. But he could have. He could have made her permanent. He just didn't want to. So I can't, like, Vision... Well, I guess Vision's the only one that... Well, and Thanos' own people. Well, no, that doesn't mean... Disregard. But anyway, yeah, only people that got poo gassed could be brought back because they get unpoo gassed. I don't know. And then that kind of brings me to some other problems where, like, the gauntlet you have to close your fist while wearing it to use its power, and do you have to snap to destroy everything, or can you just... Oh, don't do that motion. It does kind of make it more accessible, fair, grounded. I don't fucking know. It's a gauntlet with stones that do things.
It's a stone, Luigi.
And then also, like I said, was it earlier or in part 1? It doesn't matter. They're back to back. Fuck it. Vision is just... He's dead. Doesn't really get mentioned much. He didn't really ever get to do anything overall in the series. I don't know if they were crapping on Joss Whedon by just eliminating Vision and giving him very little to do in Infinity War. But yeah, he does nothing in Endgame at all. He's dead and barely gets mentioned, and he's gone. He's just gone. Quicksilver did more shit than the Vision. I mean, he got built up like he was actually going to be a hope for humanity or whatever. Instead, he just fires a laser at Ultron and then kills Ultron in a crippled body way back in Avengers 2. Which, by the way, it's already fucking 2019 and a lot of the Avengers have finished their run. I'm old. Hulk literally didn't fight anything. He fought a bunch of rubble that was laying on top of everybody when Thanos bombed their HQ, but he effed up his arm doing the snap, because I guess only Thanos can destroy half of life in the universe and not ruin his body. His body only got ruined when he snapped away the stones, and it, like, fucked his hand and arm up. Hulk got a weird, semi-burnt, withered arm that even at Iron Man's funeral he has in, like, a sling that's still pretty jacked up. So he doesn't get to fight anybody. He just stays buried. Even during the big rally, I don't remember seeing him. Even with one arm, he can still fuck people up. But you don't get to see him like have a rematch with Thanos or anything. He's just kind of out of the fight. I thought he'd show up when Cap was alone, but nope. Did I mention this is a whole dislike section? Oops, if I didn't. Tony Stark being murdered was a little too obvious. Like, he's the one that started the whole series. All of it. Don't turn off. So it's kind of obvious they're going to go for that. I would have not gone for that. I would have just had him survive at the end. I even thought right when he was, like, his whole right side was jacked up from using the Infinity Stones, I thought maybe, like, some nanoprobes would start repairing him or something, and he'd be fine. But no, he just dies. He's dead. This is the very obvious route. It was just killing him, and they went for it. So that was kind of annoying. And I guess, like, the last thing is I kind of feel like they built up Captain Marvel a lot. Mostly in the media. That's the media and advertising's fault. Seemed like they were going to build her up to be the one that, like, really beats on Thanos and saves the day. Which I'm actually glad that they didn't centralize it around her. But also, it kind of feels like she wasn't even really there. She's the one that brings Tony Stark back. I forgot to mention that. And then she just kind of blows up Thanos' ship and helps laser a bunch of things. But on to things I do like. Let me scroll down so I could see it. I don't memorize this shit. I didn't even see this movie, I just use Wikipedia. That's it.
I chiseled it!